Welcome to Almost a Podcast, episode 190 with Paul and Chris and Barry.
You almost forgot my name, didn't you?
Which way do I have to do it? Should I go Chris and Paul and Barry? Or
it's not been that long, has it? You should know my name by now.
Paul wanted to do it holding hands.
Yeah, well, it's more fun because you get stuff like that. Yeah.
So we're holding hands and less lag.
Mm-hmm.
And globetrotting Chris is all the way out in Poland today, I believe.
Yeah, there you go. Why are you waving?
He's in Poland.
Look,
hello.
Well, I can see it. Isn't it wonderful? Technology we all have.
Eurovision.
We can wave across the continents.
Can we hear him all right?
I can hear him. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So today is the probably the most fun podcast we have of the year.
Oh right, for shit.
Really? Isn't it?
No, this is the most anticipated one.
That's a shit ton of work goes into this 1 hour's content.
Yeah.
When you consider how long it takes to get the
and how many people.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Everything together.
Mm-hmm.
And then Chris, and then so this is the first time it's been seen the light of day. I think there's been lots of talk. Not that I see on Facebook, but I've been hearing the people are moaning on Facebook.
Because I understand, like they want to print the book or something, they want to print something, and they want to know the changes. It's a fair question. Yeah, like in terms of like if you're going to get something printed.
Patience, young Padawan.
Yeah, but they just want to know the date. They just want to know like when.
I can't tell you the date.
Yeah, but like a rough idea and date is fine.
But what's the date, Chris?
Today, 18th of April is today.
When will they get this?
Well, probably, I hope within the next week, I think.
There you go.
Next few days.
Before the end of April. Yeah.
You did release this after.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but you did say we're going to put this out after the document that we're about to discuss. So the date that we talk about is completely irrelevant because by the time people see the podcast, it'll be out.
Yeah,
that's true.
That's true, actually.
But what date is it today? Just for interest, it's the 18th, Thursday.
Thursday, the 18th of April,
in the afternoon. Right. So, just to explain, Chris, do you want to tell them, in case they haven't seen this before, what actually goes on and how we get to this document?
Okay. Right. So we have what we call the War Master Revolution Rules Committee. It's composed of a whole load of people. Actually, if I scroll down, you can see the people on the committee. So the idea is that we take ideas mainly from the experimental forum, things that have been play tested, things that work out pretty well, and we have a discussion process about what things are going to end up being actually incorporated into the rules. As you can see, Barry is chairman of the committee. I don't think we said that last time. Barry coordinates a lot of stuff with Alice. Alice is the author of the War Master Revolution book, and you can see some of the other people on the committee. We try to have a good spread of people around the world. So I think the term we use is player communities. So people who regularly meet up and play, so they don't have too much waiting in one community or another. So we've got quite a few people in the US. A couple of people from Sweden, other parts of Europe, and a good crop of people from the UK as well. So basically what happens, things get proposed, things get voted on. There's a certain minimum requirement for, I think it's a 2/3 majority before things actually get passed. The document that we're about to go through will update mostly to do with army lists and wording and clarification of things. Because I think, Barry, it's fair to say that the big changes that we had before the final version of the rulebook last year, there was a lot of stuff that got done last year. So this year's been more sort of letting all that bed in. So the number of things that are changing this year is, I think, probably the smallest list of changes that we've actually had for a few years.
Yeah, I think in the 6 years, this is the smallest, but last year was by far the largest. We kind of took the kind of reins off, didn't we? We let it go.
But also having a small amount of changes is good, showing that we didn't think there were things that needed to be changed.
I mean, it's certainly not even the changes. There are some armies that are still needing work and are still moving, and there's some armies that have had virtually no changes the whole thing. So, I would like to say that we do have some War Master celebrities, don't we? We have Ian Standing, which people know. And Peter Lamb.
Peter Lamb, yeah.
On the Lamb, those crazy YouTube videos that get about 1 billion likes.
Yeah. I mean, Ian's been more prolific recently than Peter Lamb. But
and Dave, who does the list builder,
yeah, that's right. Yeah, Dave, they're very important.
Yeah,
I mean, it's when I on one of my other conference trips in North America at the end of February, I actually got to go and spend a day with Dave and Matt and Mike and the other Matt. And it was really nice playing games in their sort of local group that they all meet. And it's amazing actually the dedication of some people who live in a really big country where all the War Master players are all spread out, because for them to get together for days gaming, they drive 3-4 hours, and that's not unusual in North America.
No,
that's close by.
Yeah, that's considered close. Absolutely,
that's your LGS.
If you do that round here, you're in another country. The language has changed twice and stuff like that. It's unbelievable.
Dedication. I suppose we should talk about we have lost a couple of people this year, and we're losing is it one more? Yeah, it is one more, isn't it? So we've lost Nathan from Australia, and we lost Polly from Finland, and they've been replaced. Sorry.
Yep. So those guys. So we would usually say this at the end, actually, but as things that's come up. So Nathan, Paulie, and also Peter have decided that they want to stand down. We are very grateful to everybody, because the people in the committee, it's all entirely voluntary. Everybody's giving their time, and we all know that time is squeezed from all sorts of directions, especially these days. So from all of us, in the community, thank you to Nathan and Paulie and Peter for the work that they have done. We should talk a little bit some new people who've come on board, in no particular order. Philip Preuss from Denmark, Jan Japatka from Germany. Philip and Jan joined the committee probably the end of 2023, and they've been involved in the sort of changing and voting process this year. And also Adam Hauser from Canada, Alejandro Soto from Spain. They're joining effectively now and will be busy probably in the sort of first 3 months of next year. Jan in particular is very busy running the War Master Discord server. I don't participate in that, but I probably should. But just, Barry, as you know, there's a limit to how many things you can actually check every single day.
That's it.
So
Discord had to go after the great big C, when we came out of C, the old Corona. Discord was a thing in Corona, but it was just something I couldn't keep up after it because real life gets in the way. But yeah, I mean, Discord's a phenomenal service for people who are into it. They're never off the thing. Yeah. It is the only communication tool they use.
Yeah.
Fair play to them.
Interesting, actually. Just thinking, Jan's been doing a few surveys, because some of the things that we perhaps think are an issue, other people in the community may not actually think of as a major issue. So Jan's been doing a few surveys to try and get a wider sort of community feel. And what's become apparent from that is that the two main communities online of War Master players, one being the Facebook, the other one being the Discord, there's quite a disparity in age and experience of playing War Master between those two. So the Facebook group seems to be more experienced War Master players who've been longer in the game. The Discord seems to be younger folk who've found War Master by whatever means. But it's interesting to see just the dichotomy of that. Some of the surveys Jan has done, he puts them onto the experimental forum. Experimental forum is the other thing that allows the community to test things, talk about things, discuss things over an extended period of time. Because as you know, testing things doesn't get done overnight. And one of the problems, particularly of Facebook, is that if you try to find a post from 2 weeks ago, good luck. It's like needle in a haystack. So the experimental forum,
no, literally, like so something that I'm going to be playing around with is a fan made Skaven army. Sorry, Skaven list, changing the Skaven list, and I knew that as soon as I saw it on Facebook, I had to download it immediately before it would disappear forever, and I wouldn't be able to find it again. Yeah. So
okay, that sounds good. Which Skaven list is that?
Well, it was basically to try and to try and make some changes alongside a range of miniatures that are available now to Skaven. So it was there's some things that's like, well, that's never going to get traction because that's a named character. So that
you can't have named
you're not going to have named characters. It's not War Master.
No, it's not.
But like there were some other, it just expanded the roster a little bit. That's all. And it's like, and then as I say, like, I didn't put forward any votes like for this year because I hadn't tried something enough that I thought, I've got a body of evidence to say I've tried this, like, and thus it should have the changes. Like there is one change in here that, when we come onto it, there's got a huge body of evidence for it, and fair play. The guy's played loads of games from it. He's tried it, and this is what he thinks. And it's like, great, click, like that's what. So that's my intention is going forward into like the next year's changes. Is I'll be like, well, I've tried a lot of games with Skaven playing around with different lists, and this is what I think. Either take it or don't.
Yeah, but I think that you want to play Skaven the way you want to play Skaven, and there is a good list in the Skaven list. I've been beaten by Skaven. It's not. There is a list in there.
Yeah.
But it might not be the list you want.
Well, anyway,
Skaven certainly is one of those armies that is hugely benefited from 3D printing.
Yeah, exactly, and that's where this like.
But we have to be careful with the old. Why they're no fucking
I know.
Why they're not dragon print?
Same.
This different game.
Yeah, absolutely. No, just the interesting thing you might not know, Paul. I don't know if you follow a Ukrainian guy called Anton Zarev, otherwise known as Greenskin Miniatures. He's just come to the end of a cycle on his Patreons doing what was he doing? Ogres, very nicely, of course, with all this stuff's lovely. His next army is Skaven.
Yeah, I did see some images of that. Yeah.
And whatever it does, it'll be gorgeous.
Yeah.
Because he caters a lot for us. He caters a lot for the mini hammer folks. There will be a lot of stuff, a lot of really, really nice stuff. So that would be lovely.
Excellent. Well, we better get on.
I think of him sitting in Kiev, doing his sculpting in between, missiles and power cuts and stuff like that. And you really have to respect guys like that.
Exactly. Yeah, like
I respect all the sculptors, but the ones who do it under fire, especially.
Ukraine is a big country. He's from Ukraine, yeah. So maybe
no,
he's like a long way away. Maybe.
I believe he's in the thick of it, quite literally.
Oh Jesus! Shooting in the day and
in the trenches, like right.
Right. We better anyway, because we better crack on.
We better crack on. Right. Bottom line. For the listeners, if any of you are wanting to get involved in this kind of process of, we hope, improving the game that we have. War Master is well known for having a good, tight rule set, good for tournament play, good for pick up play against somebody you don't know. So that, and to try and not upset that, there's a structure to the way we do things. If you have a look at the experimental forum, which is wmrexperimental.freeforums.net. I'm sure Barry's putting the video up on YouTube. We can put that link into the whatever it is at the bottom. Input is always welcome. It just does take a long time because the number of games that get played, it takes a little while for us to be totally sure we're not going to mess something up by making the changes.
And with it being a forum, it's actually searchable and it's permanent, unlike virtually everything.
That's why we do it. Forums seem a bit antiquated, but it's community memory basically of discussions and things like that. It's probably the least bad way of doing it.
Yeah, for sure. Until we get those matrix downloads where we can just feed the whole information in.
Yeah, man. And I'll have your time of like you got left on your arm.
Life expectancy. Right, here we go. So what was the first one, Chris? General.
Right. So we have a couple of essentially more global changes. There's army list by army list stuff, but we've been trying to unify some things. And because of the way that War Master was written, there are a lot of things where the unit behaves basically the same way, but the wording of the rules is different. So the suggestion for this, the 360-degree vision rule, came from a gentleman called Timothy Tiernan. Timothy, you see him quite regularly on all the Facebook groups, and his suggestion was that it's a bit confusing that we have a number of different ways of saying basically the unit can see all around, so why don't we actually update it? So basically for a very large number of units, I'll read out the change. So the unit has 360-degree vision, Stands in this unit can draw line of sight from all edges for the purposes of evading and shooting, including shooting at charging enemies. Note that this unit still needs line of sight from its front edge to charge an enemy. So that is, and this is essentially the way that it's played for Empire Pistoliers and the Steam Tank, Chaos Spawn, Orc Wolf Riders, Dwarf Gyrocopters, Skaven Gutter Runners, Lizardmen, Skinks, Salamanders, Pterodons, and the Stegodon crew, Kislev Horse Archers, Cossacks and the War Wagon, Araby Desert Riders, Magic Carpets, Dogs of War Light Cavalry, Goblin Wolf Riders, Witch Hunters, Pistoliers, Chaos Dwarves, the Hobgoblins and Wolf Riders, Wood Elves, Warhawks Riders, Beastmen, Centaurs and Chaos Spawn, Cathay, the Who Cavalry, Nippon Ninjas, and lots of regiments of renown, so Vesper's Vendetta, the Slayer Pirates, and all the light cavalry units. So basically, it's a very long list of units that can basically shoot all the way around, but just for clarification, that it's one rule.
I mean, it doesn't. I don't think any of the descriptions within the individual units was wrong. It was just using different wordage all the
exactly.
time.
This is simple stuff that these is right to be pointed.
And if you were building the game again,
you wouldn't have it.
You have keywords for stuff like this, but we're not building the game again. So
did you say keywords?
If you went back 24 years, you'd probably advise him to use some keywords.
Keywords.
But hey, we are.
Yeah, it's a product of the way that games were done at the time, and keywords with a list in the back of the rulebook of all these things would eliminate all of that. But to put that in, it's yet more very major surgery on the rulebook, which is not going to happen, at least for a little while anyway.
Okay.
So yeah, that's a clarification. Another clarification about detachment special rules. So detachments are single stand additional units that some armies get to add on to certain unit types. This primarily is Empire Skirmishers, and the rules have also been applied onto Lizardmen, Salamanders, Warhounds in the Witch Hunters army, and War Dancers in the Wood Elf list. So again, just for the purposes of clarification, these now all have the same entry. So if the Empire entry, for example, should say skirmisher stands are not deployed as individual units. Instead, any infantry apart from flagellants may add 1 stand of skirmishers. This brings the size of the units to 4 stands, 3 regular stands plus the skirmisher stands. Skirmishers always have the same armor value as the rest of the unit. They fight as part of the unit and can be removed as a casualty if the player wishes. Skirmisher casualties never count for command penalties. Skirmisher stands never cause the parent unit to be in a regular formation, no matter how they are placed. That's quite useful, actually, if you know how to game that. And then another actual change that we've made, which is another separate vote, that skirmishers gain the benefit of any magic banners within the parent unit. We did struggle a little bit to think about how because that's something it says in the main rulebook, but it's probably easier just to put it in with the skirmisher changes so that it's clear. So for those
do they pay the cost of the banner based on the armor value of the parent unit, I guess, rather than because skirmisher stands has no stats themselves, do they?
They have a stat line, but they get
their
the same.
Armor is whatever the parent.
They go onto units which have an armor of 0 or 6. So if the parent unit has an armor of 6, they get armor of 6. If the parent unit has armor of 0, they get armor of 0.
Yeah,
but say, oh, okay. Because the banners are not always based on different stats.
Different stats, yeah. Like if it's improving the armor value, it's what the armor save is. If it's improving the hits, it's how many hits they have.
Okay. Well, if it's improving attacks, it would just be based on. It's just a flat.
I mean, it's like it's so micro changes that it's impossible.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So basically, there's not going to be any points changes in the magic banners. But if you think about it, if you look at those types of units, they're not going to be attaching those units to something you'd put a magic banner on.
The only prickly one is the Warhounds, but Witch Hunters. I mean,
yeah,
who uses Witch Hunters?
Well, there's a few other things for the Warhounds. Actually, there's another clarification on them, which we'll come to actually. And I think part of the rationale for doing what was done to the Warhounds was because this change here actually weakens them a bit in some way.
Okay.
I can't remember, but
I can't remember either. Okay. Okay. Because they're still cavalry, aren't they? Even though they can join infantry or something mad. But yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Right.
okay, good,
Anyway,
good.
right. So army by army changes. Albion still the same. Araby still the same.
Yeah.
Beastmen is a list where the Beastmen probably have had the biggest changes of any of the armies this year.
Yeah. For the second year running, I think, because apart from Nippon and Cathay, which were new lists, they had the most changes last year as well, I think, along with Chaos Dwarfs.
I think Ogres got a lot of changes last year, which seem to have actually been pretty good. We'll come to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, creating a new unit was for Ogres.
Well, I think the biggest. We're not talking about Ogres. I think the lead belchers now are just awesome.
Yeah.
Like cool. Seriously dangerous. Yeah. Okay, right. Beastmen.
So
Anyway, so a couple of things. So Beast Herd. One of the funny things about the Beastmen list has always been that the names never really aligned well with what we had in classical Warhammer, on which a lot of the fluff of this game is based.
So did they come from a later version of fantasy, the kind of Beast Herd and Herd?
They came, I think, in 6th edition.
What came first? Yeah,
because 5th edition you had generic chaos, and then 6th edition and onwards it started to split into chaos, sort of the chaos mortals, so your chaos warrior type army, the demons of chaos, and then the beasts of chaos. Right. And they became, of course, 3 separate armies, 3 separate books, 3 separate etc. For Games Workshop.
But I guess people know them as Gauls and
they know them as Gauls.
But that's the thing. That I don't believe they were ever called Beast Herd and Herdkin anywhere in Warhammer.
Okay.
I think it's always been Gauls and on-Gauls.
Right.
But anyway, or at the very least, it's been that way for a long time.
But this goes back to that earlier discussion about how the 360 line of sight became kind of muddled because lists came in from various different places, and this came in through an experimental list, I think.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I think that might be the issue.
And once it's been written, it's difficult to change. So yeah, but I'm glad we got rid of it because in my mind, I never really knew the difference between a beast herd and a herd.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, the change here is simply a renaming of what was beast herd is now called Gauls, and what was herdkin is now called Ungors. But there is some stat changes, isn't there, Chris?
Oh yeah. They've been reworked. Both of them.
The Gors, which used to be basically the halberdier 336 stat line, they now are essentially an orc stat line 436. That's pretty. I think it's a pretty fair and decent change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, because these are infantry that you have to have. They're like you have minimum, so you can have at least 4 units.
If you compare them more to an orc warrior than an halberdier.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. They're meant to be
federal, aren't they?
Exactly. Like the weaker ones, the Ungors are meant to be more comparable to a man. Like in terms of while the
or a goblin.
A goblin, but while the Gauls are meant to be more comparable, certainly to an orc.
Yeah. Okay, so I think that's a good job. Mm-hmm. It's taken us a long time and many iterations to get there, but wherever that change came from, that was a good change.
Yeah.
Ian Standing deserves all the credit for the heavy lifting with all of these Beastmen changes. Ian's been working away very, very diligently, play testing things, trying lots of things out. You'll see the long threads on the experimental form. I think we're on about version 6 or 7 of Ian's attempt to improve the Beastman list.
Just losing for a minute.
So basically, the Ungors, they used to have shooting 30, they're now just shooting 15, and as a result, the small points decreased. So they were 55, they're now 45 points. And
they've lost an attack. I think they've gone down to 2 attacks. They had 3. So right.
Okay, that's what
Goblins. So
that's what Paul read out to me off the army list book.
No, they've got 2 now, I think, but they used to have 3. They used to be crossbow.
Postman asked, "Why do you park so shitly?"
Should that be 3? Because I think my document's wrong. Then okay, so 3.
No, I think it was right, Paul. The new one has 2, I think, but the old one they were just like crossbowmen.
Right. I will.
And now they're goblins. Goblins.
Yeah. The old profile was a 3 attacks and 1 shot.
Right. Okay. So then it is my document was wrong at the start. Okay. So it's 3 attacks, 1 shot. There we go. Right. Okay.
But
Right. So what else has changed?
I think that's wrong. We will have to
hang
talk
on,
after. I don't
the
think
range, you've changed the range. The range was 30 with the in the old profile. The range was 30. You've changed. It's been changed to 15.
Right. That's what we voted on. We voted on a change of range, change of name, and a reduction in points.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Okay.
So the other change for them is a change to one of their spells. So we remove the Screaming Arrows spell. We now have a spell called Praetorkin. This has a 30-centimeter range and it's 4 up to cast. So the Praetorkin spell, the shaman dominates the beasts used by the enemy, luring them onto their masters, returning them onto their masters, I beg your pardon. The spell can be cast on any enemy unit of cavalry, chariots, or monsters within range, regardless of whether the wizard can see it or not. So no line of sight needed. Spell takes effect until the end of the opposing player's next turn. While the spell lasts, the unit cannot use its initiative. Any order given to the unit or any brigade of which the unit is a part suffers a -1 command penalty.
Spell.
So this is essentially the Bretonnian spell Eerie Mist. It only affects beasts. I think I do like the Bretonnian spell list. It's nice and subtle. But the logic of changing this is that the change in the Ungor's range, it does massively reduce the effect of the shooting in the army, which in turn means the Screaming Arrows spell becomes fairly redundant.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah.
Okay, good,
nice.
Good.
We'll see it now. Jan has been talking a little bit about trying to gather up as much playtest data on Beastmen as possible. So any listeners who are out there who can play a Beastmen army or proxy it, I would encourage you to do that and report back on the forum and see what we've been through. Barry, I don't know how many iterations of a Beastman list, and we still haven't quite got it right.
I think this is almost there. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what else he could be.
I hope this is right, but it's one of the challenges of modeling essentially a skirmishing army, which worked well in Warhammer on a larger sort of scale of pitched battle game.
The only difference
for those of you if you want to do the army, we've tidied up some things that we use, and again, you can sort of see because the change log includes all the stuff that we've changed before. Some of these are in grey. But there we go. But
we're going on forever.
Yes, you're right.
Hey. Okay.
But no, to any listeners, if you want to do a Beastman army, Greenskin did a very nice version of it. If you want good old-fashioned metal, then Eureka Models in Australia, they've always done the models that we use for Beastmen. Paul, you have this army, don't you?
Sorry?
You have Beastman army, don't you?
No, I've got some Beastman units for chaos. Yeah.
I think you had it and sold it.
Yeah. No, I like it's been and out. Yeah, it's cycled round. It wasn't mine originally. Like it was Rid's Beastman.
Right. Maybe you need to contact Shane and borrow his.
Mr. eBay, it's been in and out.
One of the Shanes.
Well, no, I took them. I played them. I did well with them. As the rules were. Yeah, I did well.
You should put a little trophy with them. Sold them with a trophy. Here's the win. Here's the time.
But it was just like it was also. I did. That was enough.
Okay, yeah. Cathay, no changes. That's a good
changes.
Sign. Yeah, that's a new list. So bedding in nice.
Yeah, it's bedding in nicely. Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, with all the play testing Jim Beach did before we voted on that, yeah, it'll be very fitting. Anyway, Chaos Knights.
Chaos Knights
should have been done last year, but wasn't done last year. The reason it didn't get done last year is because we didn't have the limit.
Yeah, so we had an across the board points reduction for a lot of expensive units last year. This year, and the Chaos Knights actually remained at 200 as part of that process. What we're now doing, Chaos Knights are 180 points, which feels about right. But there's a limit because otherwise you're going to dominate the game with infinite number of Chaos Knights.
Certainly, small points. Certainly at small point levels. I think this was the only one of those changes that didn't go through last year, and it was just because of the unlimited amount. Because as I proved in that recent event, if you don't put a cap on stuff, you can do obnoxious things.
Yeah,
not everybody would, but if you give them the chance.
Some people sitting to my right would, but but this is a perfect example of played for and got. Like, so Ian has championed these Chaos Knights. He's used them for a lot. He's got tons of
but you shouldn't be taking more than 2 per 1,000.
No. I'm saying, but like to say I've played them at this, and I think that's and it's like
them all along.
Body evidence. Yeah,
I just said, but people say, oh, who would take more than 2? I said if the opportunity came, and it was the right environment, of course it would.
Yeah.
I just think, it's good. It's done. I can't imagine any problems with this.
No.
Perfect.
No. Mm-hmm.
But this used to be the answer to one of the like Warmaster pub quiz trivia questions. Which unit can you never take the maximum allowed of ever?
No,
the answer was Chaos.
It was Chaos
at 200 points. By the time, in a 1,000-point game, the time you'd got your general, you didn't have room for them.
Yeah.
By the time you get the general and all the other compulsory infantry units, you could I think just about get 7 units, but it was maximum 4. And you could never get 8 units other than a 2,000-point build.
Oh, because of you've got something else that's in there as well.
A general, some Chaos Warriors, some Chaos Marauders.
Yeah,
couldn't fit them in.
Well, that's easy then. If you can't even make the
it's like a dumb rule, isn't it? it's like
you can take 4, but you could never.
But you can't take 4. So there you go. So sucks.
That was easy.
Yeah,
easy.
Anyway, moving on. Right, Chaos Dwarves. Also, an interesting. Actually, of all the things we voted on this year, this is the only thing from last year that was changed last year and then been put back to its previous thing this year. Because the change last year, I don't believe we voted on. I think it was just done. So basically, it used to be that of the 2 artillery pieces, you were only allowed 1 of them per 1,000 points. Over the last 12 months, it's been 2 per 1,000 for both of them, and we've now put it back to 1 per 1,000.
Yeah.
Simple.
It was interesting that event we played at that 1250 Flyways. The Chaos Dwarf had a full battery of artillery,
which seems wrong, doesn't it? Yeah. Hang on, that's not going to happen. Yeah,
that was a lot of damage. So luckily, it blew itself up first shot. So happy days.
Happy days.
Happy days. I don't know. I can't remember the voting process last year, but it definitely got voted through.
Yeah.
But this is no point. I mean, the year before it was the Army book. Dogs of War, Pikemen. Sometimes you try something, it doesn't work, go back.
Yeah, but it's fine. But it's good. It's better to be a place where you try than you just say no to everything. Just say, better to try.
But it is also important to be able to say, well, that didn't work.
Yeah, exactly. Reset didn't work.
Yeah, we've done it before. Some of the Dwarf Anvil rules and things like that.
Everybody's a volunteer. Nobody's getting paid. There's nobody's full-time job, this.
Nope. That'd be a cool, good full-time job.
Oh, so you're going to pay.
Yeah.
What else? Demons. No changes.
No change. That's good. Demons.
Dark Elves, Dogs of War. No changes.
Still getting away with that.
Dwarves.
Scepter, the Bournemouth, but Dwarfs. Or Dwarfs did have some... Huh?
Well, Dark Elves is a scepter of...
Yes, wow. It's a scepter of...
But exactly.
Did we actually... Oh, that's an optional rule yet. That's a tournament, the TO decision.
Yeah, it's a TO rule.
We haven't made it an actual thing yet. Yeah, okay.
So the Dwarfs, there was some discussion around runesmiths and heroes. Nothing. I think we've got the wrong end of the stick. I think you need to make heroes better, not runesmiths worse. Is my point.
Okay. I'd have liked to propose. I'd have liked to seen the proposed chase happen personally, but never mind. It didn't.
I think runesmiths are vital to dwarves.
No, they're vital.
Just,
but I would
just
like
before
to
we talk about this, for the benefit of the listeners who haven't seen the discussion, the suggestion was that runesmiths, which are currently heroes, heroes that can do dispel magic, the runesmith should become a wizard, but classified as a wizard, doesn't get any spells. Was going to have was it leadership 7 and a 60-centimeter dispel radius?
No, I think it was 8.
I think it was 8. I think it said 8. And change was it dropped from being a hero's command distance to a wizard's command distance,
which is a big drop.
Which is a big drop, but
would have
made a distinct
choice
between taking a hero or a runesmith.
Okay, if we're going to have the discussion, my concern was they're already strapped for points, dwarves.
Yeah.
And you need a runesmith. It's not optional.
No, you need a runesmith.
No, you might need two, but you need one and a dispel scroll. So where am I finding points for the hero? You've just punished me.
Yeah, but
make the hero better. Make it me want to take the hero instead of the second runesmith. So I got a general, got to have runesmith, got to have. Make the hero something like a Slayer hero that goes and fights terrifying shit or something. I've got a little model for that. John Braysby made it for me.
Well, that's probably what we're going to do over the next 12 months. Actually, on the experimental forum, there'll be a number of options for a dwarf character pack. The hero, the Slayer hero, who might be sort of modeled slightly on the Saurus hero. So basically, someone that gives you maybe +3 attacks, but the command is 6. So it's basically there to kill stuff.
Yeah.
That may be something that we look at. I don't know, but it's interesting. Dwarves, whilst they were one of my favorite armies in Warhammer, I think I've played them in War Master, twice. Played with them as my army. So it's not something I can really comment on. Lovely models as we have, but it'd be interesting to see where we get to with that.
Yeah, because there's a slight overlap with Nippon with dwarves with the same kind of runesmith character.
Yes and no, but I don't think it would be an automatic change. It was also proposed for the Shugenja in the Nippon army, and that vote also did not pass. But I don't think this is something that you can just sort of copy and paste, because the rest of the armies are extremely different from one another. And
we did copy and paste the runesmith.
No.
Well, we did copy and paste the runesmith to do the Shugenja initially. And we have, but I think making changes to the Nippon effectively character pack, that needs to be done. It's a separate consideration from the.
But I mean, we're having a deeper discussion here. But like the if you left the runesmith and the Nippon runesmith alone, because I think they're perfectly fine, and just make the heroes better. So I want to take one. It's anyway, we can move on.
Yeah, I think that's the point that we came to. Nerfing something just to make another thing better is not.
It doesn't make it better. It just seems better because you made someone else shitter. So it's like, well, make me want to take like a positive choice rather than a negative choice.
Yeah, anyway. Agreed.
Oh,
we see. So again, dwarf players, please come in the experimental forum and join in the discussion. See if we can solve that problem or make heroes more attractive without nerfing other stuff.
Yeah, perfect.
Right, we've got Empire. Small wording change.
Yeah.
So it's really just clarifying the armor piercing value. That's it.
So there was an issue that people were, because English is hard, and there was an issue that people were interpreting the armor piercing was on all attacks when it was only intended to be the gun attack.
Who thought that?
Well, that's why we're here where we're here. So you say it's only the shooting attack.
Clearly not. Yeah, like fair enough. Yeah,
okay.
Needed. A change that was needed then.
A change that's needed. I mean, stuff like this. We do have an FAQ that Ian's working on. That stuff like this could have easily been dealt with that as well. So, but we
it's easier to have as many things in one place as possible.
Yeah, for sure.
So for me, FAQ is about interpretation of rules rather than this kind of stuff.
But I had never in my wildest dreams thought that my melee attacks had armor piercing.
Yeah, if someone tried that with me, we're like, jog on.
No, fair enough. No, nor me. Anyway, right. Goblins, all the same. Just passing it. That change in the troll rule wording, that seems to be working really, really well.
That's dangerous. That troll rewording. They're good.
Trolls are not quite good.
What a good change in trolls from being something you just garbage. Now they're like, ooh,
hello,
hello.
Trolls supported by goblins. That's quite mean.
That's quite mean. It's quite that's legit. Yeah.
But they're so nice and fluffy, and it's sad that the trolls never ever got out of the box. So yeah, I think trolls are where they should be.
Well, you can get 2 good orders off them now a turn. That's a lot of movement.
Yeah, it's good.
Right, high elves, no changes.
No change.
There is. Yeah, it is a tournament.
No, don't go start tournament nonsense.
I think there's a very good rule for high elves around that. You just
not let them play.
Well, people don't take them much.
What's that? You play? Nope, not allowed to play.
Not allowed to play. Not allowed to play. Which anyway, an extra army rule for high elves where a dying race where they lose one break.
Yeah,
that's a good rule for high elves.
One point earlier. I think that's nice.
Yeah, I think it elegantly answers a lot of problems for.
Did they get anything back for this, or it's just
no? They're fucking high elves, all right.
Suck it up.
Kills. Oh, you good boys, good boys.
No, they've got their own problems in killing their own command. Like the high elves have that.
Fuck off, high elves.
Move on. So, okay, the thing is, actually, just on the point we were making earlier about the surveys that Jan has been doing, choosing my words carefully, the Command 10 thing that people seem to want to bring up a lot, which some people think is a problem. The community doesn't seem to feel that way. It's just that's part of the rules. And if the dying race thing makes the people who feel that the high elves are overpowered, make them feel slightly less overpowered, then fantastic. Do you have to give them some of their toys back? Like, people on horseback get 3-up shooting and stuff like that. I don't know, because they have quite a lot of other advantages.
Proper
the
magic,
spell stuff,
the shit magic they have.
The shooting, they re-roll their spell rules. Yeah, they've got enough buffs.
Yeah. Carry on, move along. Finally,
dying race should be two break point less. That's how it was originally drafted.
Still don't play. Say high elves have been retired. They've fucked off back to Ulthuan or whatever it is. Sailed across the ocean.
Not coming out.
Yeah, they go to the Undying Land. Yes,
the Undying Land. That's it. They packed up their bags and got home. So we
okay.
Wing Lancer changed through.
Yeah.
He's been trying for this forever.
A long time.
Well, I mean, the army does lack a bit of punch, and if you are elegant surgical precision with your units, like Jim the Gent, you can do well with this army. If you want something a bit more blunt hammer, then maybe it's not a good army for you. But basically what we've got, the Winged Lancers get an extra attack in the first round of every combat when they're fighting to the front, and they're immune to terror. One of the things that is controversial in some of the other armies is human infantry with 4 attacks. And this is Alish's solution to having something that is better than an average human, but without having to have someone with 4 attacks. So yeah, I think this is good. Then it fits well with them, and the immune to terror buff I think is actually pretty good. So yeah, we'll see what they're up to do.
So what, Chris? Just because it wasn't said, what has changed is that they're immune to terror.
They get +1 attack.
And they already had that.
The attacks, I think it was just they get an extra attack on the charge. So they're like, that's chariot. So you had the charging attack and then an extra one. Yeah, what they now do is they get that attack in the first round of every combat. Whether they're charging or not.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's made them more versatile. Also, you've got the max there at 3. The old max was 4. Is that a mistype?
No, I copied that off the.
So we changed that. So the maximum is 3 then as well. That's changed.
Yeah. So he said, he feels a solid option. It decreases the max.
Oh, their points has changed as well.
Balance it up.
Yeah, they've gone up.
They've gone up 10 points. Yeah, like they're 110 points from 100. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, we'll see. Again, some of our top players in the UK have been painting up Kislev armies. So we'll see what happens on the tables this year with them. There's also a last year. So Lizard Men, no change. Nippon Samurai are now limited to 2.
Hooray!
But now I can't use my army anymore. You broke my.
You didn't have an. You don't have an army, Barry. You scrounged all the models off everybody for that tournament.
Sorry.
You don't have that army, do you?
No, I borrowed
all the models. You couldn't. I'm sorry, you couldn't borrow mine because I wasn't going. I would have lent it to you otherwise. You had to get Janner's one.
But it was good because like so many people are like, oh, I never thought of doing it that way. Just boil it down to the Jew, the gravy, all that's left of the list. But it's good. 2-4 perfect.
Yeah.
I still challenge you. Actually, if you're playing at 2,000 points, I actually think eight samurai is probably about the ones, the number 6 or 8 is probably the number you're going to take in a 2,000 point build. I think only
I
you
think
would,
12
I think honestly, Barry, only you would spam up 12 units of
12.
Nippon in a 12
German
or
would
14
take
to
12.
16.
Janners would take 12.
No, Janners never
12,
took 12.
12. Easily.
Right.
But yeah, considering Samurai Unit is all about honor, you have no.
I'm the Englishman in No Shogun.
Yeah.
Pissing on everything.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay. So are you intending to play this army going forward?
No, they're too similar to demons. I've already got a unit with 12 samurai in it. An army with 12 samurai in it. In demons. Who are fearless.
12 demon hordes.
Yeah, for sure. 12 demon hordes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I was going to say, because you seem to think that Nippon is a bit overpowered, so just to prove it's not the case.
I only had 2 issues with them, and that was yeah. We don't need to discuss the issues, but this was one of the issues. The other one was the opposite to the Paul's High Elf solution. But anyway, onwards and upwards, sir.
Onwards, right? Okay. Right. Norse, no changes.
I do feel sorry
models.
for
just have you seen the Chromaty Forge models?
Yeah. You should. Yeah,
gorgeous. John surpasses himself yet again.
I think we've over punished Norse because we kick the Huskars so hard now. There's nothing excites me about playing them anymore.
Yeah, but
what, you can't spam up another load of ultra powerful troops.
No, I think we make a break Huskars. I think
what?
To make me want to play them.
Yeah.
Well, it's actually Norse is one of the armies which, up until about a month ago, we didn't have a full set of models made by one provider, as far as I know. I mean, you can do it with historical models quite easily, but printed models, there wasn't one. So thank you to John for filling the gap. And let's play Norse this year and see what else we might need to tweak. Give them all their Huskars back.
We got 25 armies. 25. It's hard to fit it in.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, it is good.
Good place to be.
Not many game systems are that much.
No. Okay, yeah. So I think
let's add in some new armies. We'll do that next year too.
I think we pushed them
anyway,
twice, didn't we?
Right, Ogres. As we said earlier, Ogres had some very big changes last year, which, as an Ogre player myself, actually, I've not been able to play Ogres enough this year to really form a strong opinion on. But I think everything is good. The only problem that we had was the wording for the Gorges. The Gorges got this ambush ability, which massively improves their usefulness. The problem with the way the rule was worded, it was templated on the Skaven Gutter Runners, which makes mention of applying distance penalties. And this unit is not subject to any distance modifier penalties beyond. There's a across the board -1 like the Camel Riders, but beyond that, no more distance penalties. So basically this is an issue that came up at the LGT, and it's just really to clarify the fact that this unit does not have any kind of penalties for distance apart from the first initial one.
And if anybody's confused, the Ogres and Yeti swapped profiles last year. I don't know what the rationale behind it was, because I'm not that big an expert on the fluff, but apparently what they did was each of them were in the wrong place.
Yeah.
Gorges were actually Yetis, and Yetis were actually Gorges in reality.
Yep. And the Gorges then got that infiltration. But again, the readers can read about it in the grey part of the text of the document.
Yeah.
But basically, all that is for the Gorges, it's not a change, and there was just a clarification on exactly what distance penalty they get.
Okay. Like every other thing.
And yeah, but if they only have a -1 for distance, they actually are very effective infiltrators.
Yeah, for
sure. If you were trying to order from 80 or 100 away, you'd be on a big minus, and with these guys, it's just -1. My own limited experience suggests that one unit isn't enough. One unit's a pain for your enemy because the stat line is quite beefy, sort of 5-3-5. But at the same time, you need to get 2 of them in to really cause some trouble.
Like trolls. Yeah, trolls. Trolls. Okay.
Anyway, it's good fun. Another reason to play Ogres again.
And lead belchers. Take lead belchers. They're good.
Yeah, lead belchers. Yeah, I haven't tried that out yet.
Oh my god! And blunderbuss for the Chaos Dwarf. Good.
Bang.
Right, so Orcs and Goblins, no change.
I don't think it's ever had any changes.
Ever? Yeah.
Skaven, no change.
No changes.
Well,
Tomb Kings, yet another clarification on the raised
here
spell.
again.
Here we go again.
Spell. It's no different. It's
It's
just trying to spell it out to people.
But it has changed like every year.
Yeah, but it's like in functionality, it's like in terms of like I raise a unit. Yeah, there's no difference.
It's like every year there's another fringe case.
Yeah.
You've got to try and
hammer that down. It's like,
whack-a-mole.
How can you not how can you misinterpret that?
So the bottom line here, for those of you who haven't got it yet, when you place the raised dead unit, you're not allowed to split the combat into two. It has to make one big continuous combat. So yeah, there we go. Right. Anyway, moving on before we get sore heads.
I'm sure there'll be another change next
year. Yeah. Somebody will misinterpret it in some way. They'll be like, well, hang on, what about if it's a full moon? Yeah, like
I'm just going to say no to that. Just leave it. It's there. If you can't understand one of the basic concepts of the game, that's it. Tough.
The Warhounds. Here we go.
Here we go.
Right. So these are essentially detachments. They can be added to now only infantry units. So
that wasn't the case, was it? They were allowed to go with the Pistoliers or whatever they had.
Yeah. Knights.
Yeah, so it's basically just tidying something up. So they go on the infantry unit. That's it.
Okay.
But if you have the Warhound unit, you can pursue cavalry and chariots because the dogs are going everywhere. That's actually quite good as well.
So all the unit or just that one stand?
The whole unit.
Oh.
There's no way you could have just one stand going, could you? You couldn't split the unit up.
No, I'd have to follow along, wouldn't
Yeah.
they? So they maintain coherence. Okay.
Yeah.
So
it's just the current rules were, it was weird. You had something that was based as infantry, and you could join it to your cavalry unit.
Yeah.
It was hard to determine how the hits were allocated. So I can understand because one of the other possibilities would have been to reclassify them as cavalry and you put them with the pistoliers only, but putting them in the infantry seems a bit more in fitting with the fluff.
Yeah, the only issue with changes like this is like so few people play this army that you could wait 10 years and maybe
and have no pool of like feedback and be like, what do people think of that change? You're like, never happened. Like,
yeah, no, there's a couple of Witch Hunter armies that I've seen in the tournament scene in the UK, so hopefully we can get it tested out a little bit more.
Give it to Janice, he'll find it.
He found them.
He won with Witch Hunters. It's the only time I've ever seen anybody use them.
Yeah.
Jim used to play them, didn't he? Back in the days
Jim has his proxy hammer.
Yeah.
Jim's army's every army.
Every army and your army.
Proxy hammer. It's a good system.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, yep, nice army. Who is it does them?
As long as you don't
on
mind giving orders,
MMF, if you want to buy models. So there's decent models out there. The trouble with that particular provider, pre-supporting doesn't really work, and the printing is a bit of a nuisance. But
what's that?
The guy who does the Witch Hunter models does not lead the way in exemplary customer service and pre-supporting and making sure models are printable. I did a Kislev army for Janners and one for Sherwin off that guy's models. Gorgeous models, but getting them to actually bloody print is a pain in the ass.
Right.
So never again.
Yeah, the cleanup can
be
horrific.
No, but it was just the pre-supported models. There was horses that printed with hooves missing and things, and it was obvious that the guy had never actually tried to print the things. Because if he printed even one stand, but you didn't notice, we need to support under that hoof in the middle of the air because the horse is running along. And no, if I'm buying 28mm models and scaling them down, yes, I expect to have some of that. But if I'm paying for pre-supported stuff, then I expect it to actually have been tested.
Okay.
Anyway,
gears. Right. What else? No changes. Good.
We haven't changed Vampire cards. No changes since
That's
forever. From one tiny little thing, because they're fine. and that's great. Siege engines, we did that, and then we're back at the committee list, so we're done.
Yeah, it's cool.
So just to go off on a tangent, the vampire counts were Promity Forge's first line, which
where he did Norse and
vampire Norse.
There were two things,
metals.
Yeah,
that's what we're do.
Cool.
Yeah, vampire Vikings.
Huh?
Vampire Vikings, they were.
Vampire Vikings.
Get them.
And that's
because actually, John was kind enough to also do the models to let you play them. You can play them as Tomb Kings as well. He did the extra artillery
and archers and stuff. Yeah,
I mean that's a podcast episode actually. To talk about proxies, how you can be creative with proxying stuff. Because it's one of the most fun things about Warmaster. And the people who want lists for this, that, and the other, just proxy it with something that's already in the game. Do whatever models you like.
Tokens. I've even played games where I've just written the units on bases to blank bases.
Yeah, that's right.
Whatever.
That's how we started.
Yeah, just like
absolutely.
Whatever. Just get on and play. I've been playing like a long time, and I've realised I've never painted an army ever.
It's bad.
I've only painted like barely a couple of units. So I think, like, if I wait until I painted army, I'd never have played.
Yeah, exactly.
You just got to play. And, so this year I'll be painting an army. Well, painting.
Oh, my God.
Painting an army. Which one?
Huh?
Which one gets the blessing?
The Vampire Norse.
Vampire Norse.
Mm-hmm. Vampire Norse. All right, okay.
Metal.
Why do you need more vampires? I mean, you've got that army already.
Oh,
you're going to play this
That's mine. Yeah.
He's not got the right gear, has he? Because he's a little bit of everything.
Right gear.
So one's just going to be like, "What's the good shit?"
yeah.
Give me that.
Oh, so a lot of Black Knights then.
A great girl.
The
good stuff.
The good stuff, right? Okay, yeah.
Not me to the back.
You're gonna have yourself a black coach, aren't you? Which is like
Okay, so actually, then Barry, what I might suggest you print and paint. What's the guy? Tordo Miniatures. Again, he's quite active on the Facebook groups. He has done a range quite recently of essentially undead Japanese models. So you've got undead samurai, undead archers, undead samurai cavalry and stuff. So the idea there is that you can do both a Nippon army and a vampire counts army. I'm playing around with some of the models at the moment. They're really, really, really nicely done.
Nice.
So you might want to do that one, because then you can play Nippon just to prove your point that it's overpowered.
I didn't. I just want everybody to get +1 break, because I'm a special snowflake.
Special
snowflake. Anyway, so
right.
Just one. We forgot to say that you're in charge of the trade forum. Is that still a thing, Chris?
Yeah, I used it. I'm using.
The Warmaster Trading Forum on Facebook is still alive and well. I'm very ably assisted by Adam, actually, who's one of our new people on the committee. And it's one of those things that it's very unlike other Facebook groups that I moderate stuff on, where there's in other groups, as you know, there's always an argument, always a fight, always a something. And the Warmaster Trading Group is very, very peaceful and quiet.
Yeah.
Now, again, it's one of those things that up until about, I don't know, 2021, 2022, there was always somebody coming along trying to flog a load of recasts, and it was how you policed that, and it just became so complicated. And luckily, 3D printing kind of killed off all that market for.
I wonder where our German friend goes now. Maybe
he still blames me for all sorts of stuff that I never did to him. Hates me absolutely. But because at the end of the day, I don't have a problem with somebody selling recasts as long as they're honest about it. To say, right, this is a recast of something that's hard to get. There were always some issues with whether that was legitimate to do on Facebook, and there's possibly the group gets closed down. But if it's something that I want and a recast is the only way to get it without having to sell 2 kidneys, yeah, fine, I don't mind.
Yeah.
Well, how do you, as a punter, unless you said a blister, not everything even came in a blister. How do you know it's not recast anyway?
Exactly.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. The answer is it's extremely hard.
Yeah.
You can have all the mythology about how many mold lines you have, and what the metal feels like when you put it on the table.
How many
But
mold?
the reality is
exactly
that
I'm the
Games
same
Workshop's
opinion as
production
you.
department was never the most high standards in the
Yeah.
first place.
No, I'm exactly the same opinion as you. Is like if you wanted to get hold of something, I don't mind if it's recast, if it's said such a thing, if it's affordable and it's good quality, doesn't work, whatever. I mean, what I found, in recent years is just how good the quality of 3D printed stuff is. It's just like, well, that's where I'd go to get something, a new War Master Army. Yeah,
I still love metal, but that's just me. I like printers and stuff.
I mean, like if someone was had re-sculpted, as they had sculpted the same quality you're getting with these 3D printed armies as in metal, yeah, okay, yeah, sure,
insane.
Yeah, of course it is, exactly.
Yes.
They're so detailed, and it is just,
and the production costs are completely different.
Exactly. Yeah. So it is. Yeah, it's yeah.
I think John
do
did.
you know what? It's hard to do. It's hard to do to sculpt something that works in both worlds.
Yeah.
It's either something you print or something you cast.
Yeah.
I think the only person who's done something where they're identical is, again, John Braisby at Cromwell Forge. The dwarves, you can buy the files that are basically identical to the metal.
Yeah. I think he did Samurai
kind of works
He
because
did do Samurai Rats. Yeah,
Samurai Rats.
Yeah.
He did, but he didn't release the STLs of those.
Oh, okay.
Oh no, hang on, no, you're right, he did, but the metal models are different from the from the STLs.
You do have to be careful sculpting metal that it is castable. Whereas with printing, it's completely different. You can print anything as long as you put the supports in.
Yeah.
There's no.
You got the thickened thing, as John has said. Actually, when John was on the podcast, he did say, you got to make spears that are like a telegraph pole, so they don't snap.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, I think that
metal or you sculpt them with like an open hand, so that somebody can put piano wire in and get very realistic blood effects on the end of the spears.
You get very realistic blood.
Yeah.
Well, it's good stuff. I think we're nearly tied up, Chris. I think we're nearly done.
Yeah, I think we're good.
Okay. So the same process will happen next year. So if you want to get something through the machinery,
through this
plenty time to do it.
I think overall, like if we're recapping what the changes that we've had here, I mean they are. Yeah, there's nothing that jumps out as like there's no new unit creation. There's not a dramatic rework. It is quite sedate stuff, really. I guess it's Beastmen are the ones that had the biggest changes, isn't it? Because they've had some changes to their core troops.
Yeah,
as in their two core troops have changed a bit. So effect that will be in every game that they play. They're like, okay, they've got to take them. Got to take them. So, but aside from that, away from that, it's like it is minor stuff, which is good.
Yeah, I mean the only bigger discussion is how much further you take the lists. Is 25 enough? I'm of the opinion it probably is, and to have more lists is probably going to be quite difficult.
Yeah, I mean, and what are those lists going to be?
Well,
like, because
I don't know.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Like, because every faction is there, including some which are like
shouldn't be there.
Shouldn't be there. I mean, I always thought we would have like a War Master themed armies book. That's where I thought we would go. Well,
maybe we can get some of that
because that opens the door to like some real different stuff. Like it's in because it's in.
No, you're going to start talking about Space Marines now, aren't you?
No.
Well,
but it's like right.
What are they called in this game?
Hey, Hazel.
Hello.
Yeah, like because right now we've got a situation where it's like, well, okay, in the old world, you have the journals are coming out and they present two themed lists as well as the core because you have the core. So the War Master has 24 core armies and one themed list army in there in the Witch Hunters. So I thought we'd go down the route of there'd be a War Master armies book.
Elves Wars are themed list as well, really.
No, you could say okay. So maybe they are then. But like I would have a War Master armies book, and that would have themed armies essentially. Is it? So you could have like a troll horde. You could have all mounted
whatever you want,
a nomadic orc tribe.
Right, okay. Yeah. So hopefully the War Master Journal. And it comes out in
how many weeks it'll be. You could have like a dwarf engineering guild, Barry.
Really good. With a big
balloon helps you shoot.
Because that's what you need. Hitting on threes. 8 cannons on threes. Take it off.
I'm up here.
Can't shoot me.
Can't shoot me.
Cannons on helicopters. That's what the dwarves need.
You can put gyrocopters on the balloon.
That's it. Get those dwarves with the
Gatling cannons.
Assault cannon dwarves.
Get them in like own personal balloons.
I would have liked to see alternative like orcs, like ferally orcs or if we're going to do themes,
yeah,
or
like a savage,
young old dwarves, or whatever, old slayers and stuff.
Yeah.
No long beards. No
yeah.
cannon.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so that opens up the design space for that.
But it can't be in the. I'm telling you, I think that we've almost gone as far as we can with the main game. We can refine it, but I think 25 is a lot.
Yeah. It's massive. There is. I can't think of one or two examples.
Again, the whole point of the experimental forum is to entertain those discussions. That's what the experimental forum's for.
Oh,
that if you have an idea for one of the alternatives, get it out there, and it may not make the official tournament rule set, but it's there for house rules and fun play with your friends. And because the whole point of this is to have fun, isn't it?
Exactly. There isn't a list we're missing, though. So there isn't like a chaosy list we're missing, because we've got demons, we've got chaos, we've got beastmen.
Only if you wanted to do they would
like lineage, you'd have to, but we don't do that, do we?
A single power god,
but we don't even recognize the god.
Yeah, exactly. So
demons are demons.
Demons are demons.
One flavor.
Red flavor. So there's nothing that's not represented
apart from the new stuff, the Age of Sigmar nonsense.
Yeah, well, but that's a different universe.
Different games.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think
But again, somebody has been working his way through the Age of Sigmar armies. There's quite a bit of it on the experimental forum. Probably it's kind of like the Westeros and the Middle Earth kind of variation. You're going into a particular world, and things in that world are balanced to play against each other. But whether the what do you call them, Stormcast Eternals, whether they would be a good idea in the old world, probably not. So just play with them in the world that they exist in.
They come down on lightning. They can fight everybody.
They come back to life.
Come back to life. Yeah.
Anyway, good stuff. Thanks a lot, Chris, for all your hard work as ever.
Thank you for doing it. There is quite a lot of heavy lifting and getting all that sort of voting organized and bringing people's discussions to a point. So, Barry, thank you to you for doing that, because it's a lot of work. It's like herding cats.
Yep.
Being committee chairman.
You do, because you love the game, though.
Well, exactly, but
we'll get honor in the next life.
Yeah, exactly, and it's your contribution to the wider community, isn't it? In terms of we're all involved in this because if everyone contributes something to a wider community, then the community is fantastic. This is a way that we can contribute.
There's nobody. The great thing about this is there are people making little bits of money now in 3D printing stuff. Nobody's making a living in War Master, really.
No.
Well, maybe Forest Dragon. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he was for a while. I don't know. But
well, he's coming back this month. He's doing Orcs after his self-imposed hiatus.
Oh wow! Okay.
Fantastic.
Again, the renders, they look gorgeous. So I mean, that's probably another episode to do. Just go and look at what's out there on 3D printing. Because I was making a list. We've got probably half a dozen producers who've all done multiple armies, all to an exceptionally good standard. So it's happy days, good times.
There's never been a better time, as they say.
Well, no, and going forward, there'll only ever be an even better time, because it's like a game system like the old world is popular. That people that's fantasy. People are then attracted
when they realise it's not that good a game.
Which I found out last night. oh my god. But then you're attracted to that universe in terms of if you're a new player.
With a bit of sensibility in it. No hero hammer, no monster hammer.
So you're not loving the old world, Paul?
Oh no, I am, but it's like, I mean, okay, so last.
You're going to tell a story, okay?
I'll tell a story.
Is it about a big monster?
No,
a big monster?
No. So last night I played at the club, and and I've got this old world escalation league. So it's 1,000-point game. Okay. So half the size you normally.
How big's your character pool?
500 points. So I was playing Anthony, and I know Anthony is, bless him, he's just whack. Is in
whack meaning win at all costs. But not if you ask him.
He's
Mr. Bluff.
You got it exactly. But it's like oh okay. So I didn't know what he was taking, but I knew there'd be Elves and Goblins, right. But I knew there'd be fanatics in there. And the current. How many? He took a unit of goblins and night goblins, so it's 3 fanatics. And I knew that the current rules for fanatics are so dumb. It's you can't do any. You can't
get them out.
You can't get them out.
Till he chooses.
So till he chooses, and then you can't target them when they're out. So it's like the only thing you can, and the only thing you can do to like, okay, there's fanatics
You
in
make
this
them
game.
flee before they get released.
Is you blow the crap out of that unit before it gets released. Before they get released. Like, and that's what I did. So I'm buying Empire with a beautiful like 3D printed stuff, which are Highland miniatures, mostly where it's from. Fantastic stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, like, and anyway, so like I've mostly taken a ranged army, and I was like, what do I target? That goblin unit first.
That tiny goblin unit.
It was about 30. It was 30 strong.
Okay.
Yeah, and because of there's actually a lot of command in morale in sorry, no, it's leadership, isn't it? In Orcs and Goblins. They're not gonna, I can't rely on them running. I'm gonna have to kill them goblin out.
30 goblins.
So those 3 fanatics are there until there's no goblins left.
Right.
And that's what I did. And he got sad that I like blew up his
Well,
exactly. And I was just like, well, so we played again. So like where we played again, and this, so I didn't target the goblins. Like I'll target the other things in the art of like, I don't know, sportsmanship. And those fanatics destroyed me. Like, so it was like, oh well, you're either forced to hammer or be hammered. You know, there's a
third of his army would have been in that night goblin unit.
But it's like the point is, it's like, so because those fanatics are just ridiculous, you deal with them by one way to deal with them is to blow them up. So that's what I chose to do. And it's like, and he's like sad that I'm taking off his toys. So it's like, so we play again, but his toys take off my toys. And I was like, this game system, it's like, it's like,
that's not the worst thing. So
no, it's not the worst. It's not the worst, but it is part of it. It's just like, oh yeah, like
you're not selling
okay,
this
Chris.
to me.
Wasn't quite
I'm not rushing to buy those base adapters for all my Warhammer models.
That's a good way to do it.
I'm not rushing out to rebase all my old Warhammer stuff.
I'll just get movement trays with the rings or whatever, the wooden.
Yeah, like a movement tray where they sit in. Yeah,
much better idea.
Yeah, like so easy to do. So easy.
The little adapters you've got to kind of glue them.
Yeah, I know, but it just the end result does not sound like a fun place to go play. I'd rather stick playing Warmaster.
Oh yeah, no. It's like, don't get me wrong, Chris. Like I'd rather. The club needs turnover, needs football. I'd rather that football was done in Warmaster, but it ain't going to happen.
Yeah.
But but there are plenty of people willing to play the old world. So there you go.
Okay. Right. Good.
All right.
Right.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
Cool, Chris. It's been lovely to see you.
Yeah, lovely to see you. Go enjoy Poland.
I will do my best.
Yeah,
try to find the Warhammer. If Barry's miming beer, yeah, maybe I'll do that.
Well, it's probably more vodka, being honest. But so if you want to get in touch with us, normal places, get next time, warmaster.podcast@gmail.com. Or grab Paul on Facebook. I don't do Facebook much at all anymore.
If you want to speak to Barry, you can bug me to ask him.
That works.
Yeah, it works.
That works.
That's worked today.
It did.
Yeah.
Sorry, Justin. All right. See you later.